that looked really interesting. I have nothing to do the next few months, so if you want, I can be part of that project if you want me to. So please let me know. Now, we will have, ladies and gentlemen, a world premiere number 2 today, where there will be 2 Finnish guys on the stage at the same time with, and they're both called Jarmo. Jarmo is a very, very unusual Finnish name, but we have 2 of them in the house, and they will, be on stage at the same time. And that has never happened before in the history of the world. We call them for short Jarmo Yksi and Jarmo Kaksi, but they have real names, and the real names are Jarmo Heimala and Jarmo Liimatainen. And there will also be a Martin on stage, all of a sudden. With no further ado, welcome them on stage, the great Jarmo.
Hello.
Hello everybody. So I'm Jarmo Heimala.
And I am Jarmo Liimatainen.
Very exciting to be here, and it looks quite interesting program, this AgriCulinary, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are going to tell you a story about from dream to the project, I believe. Yes.
Yes, what has been happening?
So let me just jump here first. How did this all began? I think that's the beginning of the story. Why did we do all this? First of all, I'm from the eastern part of Finland. I was very lucky to grow on a small dairy farm. My parents ran a farm for many, many years. Eventually, my mom established also a bakery. And there's a funny story because I went to abroad, US, as an exchange student. And after 6 months, I talked to my mom every now and then. But after 6 months, I called my mom and said, "How's everything in Finland?" Everything's fine, but you don't have your room anymore. What do you mean I don't have a room? Well, I turned it into a bakery. Really? That's cool. So why she started a bakery is because farming wasn't enough. They didn't make enough money, so she started a bakery. And she ran the bakery for many, many years. They are both retired now, but my mom still bakes every now and then. But that's where I got this sparkle to the food culture and the origin of food, because I was very fortunate to live on a farm, and I learned to appreciate all the work that farmers have to do in order to grow or take care of the animals, in order to grow food, vegetables. So I had a possibility to participate in collecting and harvesting root vegetables, and also milking the cows and be part of the farm work. So it was always very nurturing to be at the farm and home, and I was always welcome to go back there every now and then. How about you, Jarmo? What's your memory about food?
I think it's my mom and my grandparents who were fishers, and my mother has been always awesome cook. I'm always love food a lot. It's been like my passion, as you can see, definitely. And I somehow kind of always know that I'm going to end in the kitchen. But when I was younger, I think that I need to get like proper career, not like in the kitchen. But in the end, in the kitchen I was. I tried to study information technology or something like that, and I noticed that this is not for me. And then I went to the kitchen and tried to be chef. And never had a better choice in my life. I basically in the industry because I love food. Sort thing, long thing short.
Yeah. So yeah, I went abroad also, and I became a chef as well too. I went to culinary school in Michigan, in US, and I was running a catering company. Eventually, I was running a restaurant. But then I wanted to come back to Finland to continue studies in hospitality management, and at the same time I got a job, part-time job at Perho. I think that was 2005. Were you working there?
I was starting to work at the Perho maybe then.
Yeah. Well, so we were both working at Perho. 2010, I went to Italy to study at the University of Gastronomic Sciences, and that gave the big sparkle about that we need to educate our future chefs within the food gastronomy so that they would have a possibility to visit farmers and producers. So then when I got back, I remember I think in 2012, we started the Sustainable Gastronomy Study Module. So now we can go here. Yeah. And the idea of this Sustainable Gastronomy Study Module was that we will take students to visit farmers and producers to see the original food. And you were teaching also, I think, during that time, the same study module.
Yeah, but one of the first teachers who did this with you back then, 2012.
So students were able to see where the food comes from, and their task was also to create a sustainable menu by using ingredients directly from the producers that they just met. So we started that, and then at the same time, we wanted to visit some really unique restaurants, and Sasu Laukkonen was one of the restaurants that we like to take students to visit his restaurant, and he taught our students that, you know, you should use all the edible parts of the vegetables. Like a leek, you know, a leek, it has roots. You can actually cook the roots also. You can wash them really carefully and deep fry them, for example. I have a nice garnish. Or ferment also. So Sasu was one of the forerunners of this ideology that you should use every single edible part of the vegetables. And in order to get that kind of vegetables, well, you need to know a farmer if you want to have the vegetable with the roots, right? So we were talking with Sasu all about this, and then a few years went by. We also then eventually started a Green City Farm, because we were visiting all these farmers and producers, and some of the students asked us that, well, why don't we have our own farm? So I went to talk to our principal and say that, you know, we have this empty lot behind our campus. Could we rent it from the city of Helsinki and establish a farm? He said, that's a good idea. So he contacted the city of Helsinki, and we started renting the farm, and we established Green City Farm in 2017. So then our students, culinary students, business and tourism students, now they are able to see how everything is being grown, and they can participate in farming too. So then I went to talk to Sasu again, and we were talking about, well, I think this could be some kind of training program where we could, you know, become familiar with farmers and producers, and chefs could learn from farmers, but how about farmers could also learn from chefs? So then we thought that, well, I think that sounds kind of nice program. What should we do? Well, we came up with the name AgriCulinary, and we started contacting different colleges, and Sasu had a good idea that we should contact Mosjoen school here, because he has been at the Arktisk Mat event before, and he knew the school. So we contacted them, told about this idea, and they said yes. And then we also got a contact information for Denmark. We have Martin there. So we talked to Martin from ZBZ College, and we asked, are you interested? And he said also yes. So we applied for funds from Erasmus program, and we were accepted. We got 250,000 euros to split between 3 of us, and we started this AgriCulinary Erasmus Plus project. And the idea here is to create multi-skilled professionals within the culinary industry, but also horticulture industry. So the first year, we were training our own teachers, and we were developing learning material. And then last year, we started the actual pilot program. So we have students from Finland, from Denmark, and Norway. And I think you've seen us because we have these beautiful hoodies. So maybe you have seen us walking around here. And yes, so we started the study program in September. And what all did you guys do? remember?
Yeah, at the start, we just had to get the chefs to the field and make them understand what's happening in the soil, what we are doing with the fields. It's basically nurturing the soil. If we nurture the soil, we get good veggies. We learn those things to the chefs. And meanwhile, we teach things, magic arts of the kitchen from the farmers. So they learned the basics in the both sides. Here we are at the start to getting known of the farm, what we have on the farm, what we could do on the farm, what kind of things we should do in the farm, or what kind of products we could make together. Basically, that was the start of it.
And you can see Heidi, she's our farmer at the Green City Farm, also part of the project. She also, like you say, taught us that we need to take care of the soil. While we had the Green City Farm, is not just to grow vegetables. Our first task is to take care of the soil, make sure that soil is healthy.
Yeah.
Because then when the soil is healthy, we can grow beautiful vegetables. Then you guys learned to pick harvest.
Yeah.
Started that last year.
Yeah. Basically got all the ideas where to harvest, how to harvest, where to cut, because those are things for us, like chef students and for me, how to do the harvesting so the plants keep giving and giving and giving more, and we don't harm it. So, and when we should pick it, and what else we can pick it from. For example, like Brussels sprouts, there is the tops of it which you can use, and
but you can actually use the whole plant.
Yeah, you can. You can, and that's something what we learned to do. Same as the morning, we said how to use the whole cod. We just started to think how we plan the menu so we can use all of this beetroot, the roots, the peel, the root veggie itself, the stems, the leaves, and when we were in the kitchen, every student has their own box where they put everything what they were thinking to put into bio-waste. And we weighted how many grams there were, and little by little we learned that nothing has to be thrown away. We learned to use everything, the stems, the leaves, the roots, with different methods. We dried, we fermented, we pickled, we made the dusts and salts and sugars for all parts of the veggies. So.
And then anything that was left over that you were not able to use in cooking, then we put it into the compost.
Yeah.
And
give
we
back to the
Green City Farm.
So it was like a circle going on and on and on.
Yes. So during this project, what they have learned is the common language of culinary and horticulture professionals. So they learn from each other.
Yeah.
We have 2 horticulture students in the program. They never really cooked before, so they learned the basics of cooking. And then our culinary students, they learned about the basics of farming. And they came up with lots of new ideas in both fields. And then, learn to plan and prepare food together in the kitchen.
Yeah. And they got ideas from each other, and
I think we have you have beets.
Actually, there are the beets and beet stems which we are using, and what else? Actually, can't even remember. It's been like 1 year ago. So.
And then here you are making some type of broth. With all the vegetables.
Yeah, using the corn, the hard part in the middle to make stocks and stuff like that. And those were actually the only part after we had made the stock from those hard parts of the corn, which went back to the compost after we have used it for stock. So something really get back to the compost after all.
So we did all that in the beginning of the fall, and then after the winter, of course, what do we do once the snow has gone away? We start planting seeds. So they learn how to plant seeds or to collect, I think, parsnip. I think this is taken in April. We had quite early spring.
And we collected the parsnip which has stayed in the field.
Yes.
They
stayed there over the winter. So in this picture, they are putting some seeds ready to be grown. I think that was taken in May. this year.
Yeah.
But then also wild food,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's one of my passions, to forage and pick wild herbs. So we had a couple trips where we collected edible plants from the forest and from the fields, and learned how we can preserve the aromas. So when we want to use them, or at the autumn or at the winter, we have still those fermented and pickled and preserved
Yes.
wild foods with us. We make a little bit cheese, learned the cheese making in our own juicery. So here's the product of, we are making actually our famous blue cheese, award-winning blue cheese.
Yes, of Perho.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some examples that we were doing in at our college. But then in Denmark and Norway, same thing. They were doing also their unique things with their AgriCulinary students. In addition to this, what we were doing at our college, we also visited Denmark with the students. So our students were able to learn and become familiar with the students from Denmark. And then they all visited us in Helsinki.
Yeah.
And then now we are here, or we were here. Well, we are still here, but the students are not here. Unfortunately, they had to leave.
Their flight went after the lunch, so they missed the last part, which is sad, but they can do.
This was their final project a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, when you have learned the stuff, learn to preserve, learn to ferment, learn to farm, learn to everything, you still need to learn how to use this. So how to make business of it. So the students made a restaurant at the farm.
Yeah, with the help of Pauliina, she's our chef from restaurant Perho.
Hey.
Hey. So our students together with Pauliina who created this restaurant at the farm event. And there you can see a few pictures of the greenhouse, for example, where we had set up a dining room. And farmer students learned about how to run a restaurant in the middle of the farm.
Yeah, and we used stuff, for example, in the menu, which we collected seaweed at the Denmark with you guys. We had an awesome trip where we all went in the sea to collect seaweed together, and we pickled and fermented a little bit and dried the seaweed at your school, and we bring them here and use it in one of the portions, the seaweed from the Sea of Denmark. And
that was actually one of the storytellings now, because the idea there is not that you just prepare the food and take them to the customers, but before the dinner started, we did tours at the farm. So we split up all the customers into two groups. Heidi was in one group and you were in the other group. And your task was to explain with the other students about the origin of the food. So you actually went over what the menu...
The presentation of the menu was happening in the field. They basically see every ingredient, what they are going to eat, and at which part and how we are preparing them. So we tasted the pear taste from the herbs from the field, and then they had chance to taste them in the portions. So it was kind of interesting to see. People were quite happy to be seeing what they are going to eat in a couple next months, hours. Not months.
But this was also a chance for the students to learn the storytelling about the origin of food, and somewhat easy. I mean, all these ingredients from behind our school campus. But whenever they took the meal to the customers, they explained what's on the plate, and this is what Sasu also before has always told us, that the storytelling is very important. And I think we have heard that name or term here also before. The storytelling is very important, because then you can tell more about the food. It's not just food on the plate, but there's always a story behind it. Here, Pauliina with the students is preparing one of the meals.
One of them, I think have something like 11 courses or something, kind of lot.
And here are some customers already enjoying the meal, and then our students, and Anu is over there. Anu is one of our teachers. She's from a service area, teaches also bartending and different types of beverages. And this is after the event. So that's our group. But you asked, was it yesterday, from some of our students? What had they learned?
Yeah, what was the most important part what they've learned, and that's what they said. Collaboration, networking, and sharing knowledge. That's what it's about. Sharing knowledge, sharing ideas with you guys in Denmark, you guys in Norway, learning from you, learning from here, hearing all awesome stories from here. Yeah, this is good sharing, important thing.
And inspiration. We have now at least 2 students, maybe even more in our group, that they would like to establish a restaurant at the farm.
Yeah.
So now they are searching, a farm where they could actually open a restaurant.
Yeah.
So,
and maybe they are going to make some nice companies together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who knows?
And the future. We had really a nice chance to participate in this seafood course that was organized at the school here a couple of days ago. Our AgriCulinary students were taught how to utilize seafood. Radi, I don't know, are you here from Scotland originally? No? A fisherman? Great guy. So he taught us how to handle the seafood, and then AgriCulinary students were showing high school students how to work with different types of seafood. So this is kind of like continuing story. We are helping the future generations to learn about agriculture.
And interested the whole industry.
Yes. Yeah. So our journey continues. We are hoping to continue this project also in the future. But all of us 3 colleges, the ZBC in Denmark, Mosjoen here in Norway, and Perho in Finland, we are already integrating a lot of this ideology into our normal school program. But we are planning to have actually elective AgriCulinary study course at Perho, starting hopefully already next year.
For all our students.
Yes. But now we also have a surprise for you. I've seen that you guys, we all like surprises. So Martin from ZBC, please.
Hello. Do you guys know how to turn it on?
I think it is on.
It is on?
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they can
Anyone
hear
hear anything?
Yes, yes.
All right, good. All right. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little close to the mic. Yeah, I'm Martin. I represent the ZBC in Denmark. And I've been the co-writer of this AgriCulinary project with Jarmo and with Jason. We should not forget Jason at all.
Yes, Jason. Where are you, Jason? And I want to thank Jason. The sound in the video was by Jason, so thank you.
We use Jason for everything vocal, so we have a native speaker, so we don't have the Scandi English all over the place, right? But seriously, Jason has done a great job, and besides just getting this to work, he could do projects on the side as well, so it's quite impressive. So well done, Jason. I'm Martin. I work for the international department in Zealand Business College, which is a school, or a hybrid of schools. We have about 25,000 students a year and about 1,000 employees in 13 different locations. We have 42 different educations, but my passion is the culinary arts. So, and that leads me to a big disclaimer. I'm an economist by trade, and I worked in the private sector as a business developer, so I have no clue, right? But luckily, I can surround myself with people who have lots of clues, and that empowers me to do things. And I really appreciate other people's talent, and I'm a little bit humbled being in this delegation as it is now with all these wonderful people being here. So, actually, we have this great project, And egotistically of me, I had this childhood dream of brewing my own beer. But it's a lot of work, and I have no talent. So what do, right? Surround myself with talent, and actually thought about, why don't we, in the name of cooperation, make an AgriCulinary beer, where we take a local produce, of course, by the institutions, by the schools, bring them here to Norway, and then brew locally. So I went to our beekeeper, we took like 4 kilos up, wrapped it in the mail and sent it, and wished us good luck for customs and all that. It cleared out. Wonderful hops from this green
hops
city
from
farm.
Finland, yeah.
Yes, and then the malt from here, and also for logistical reasons, we needed 250 kilos of malt. And originally we should have the malt from Denmark, but then I saw 250 kilos. I was thinking shipping to Norway, 250 kilos. That's gonna be bad. Yeah. So I got him convinced we do Norwegian malt, then we do the Danish honey, and then we do the hops. And all agreed, and we just did it. And last year we were here, we got a tour of a lot of great places, but we also to Aus, the local brewery, with Christian. You're there, right? Yeah. And what happens? We just call Christian up and say, Christian, we got this crazy idea, we want to make a beer. It's got nothing really to do with, it's not in the project description, that's for sure. But
I think it's somewhere written down there that we will create collaborative
beer?
product.
Yeah, okay. Doesn't matter. We called him up and said, why don't we do this? And he agreed for free, for doing it, for trying it out. And we sent the things here. And you can tell the story, but we were a little bit under time pressure. I got a sample of the beer like 2 hours ago from Jason. And he said, don't open it, because if we get in trouble, and yeah, that's all right. So actually now we're talking about the world premiere. Today we have the AgriCulinary beer, which is brewed right here in Norway, with honey from Denmark, Finnish hops, and Norwegian malt. And it's a Nordic honey ale. And at the dinner tonight, there will be these beers on all plates when we come here, and we're all going to enjoy the beers. It's the first time ever. All right, enough for me. I have to bring the talent in again. So Christian, could you please tell us a little bit about what happened in this process? I know you've been extremely busy, and thank you so much for realizing it.
Thank you. Can I borrow it? Yes. What happened? You were visiting us, and I gave you lots of beer. And when you
yes, you did.
Yeah. Beers. By the way, beer is important. It's important because it's a social lubricant, as we all know. But it's been important in Norway for almost 1,000 years. We have the Gulating law in Norway. It's 900 years old. It has a few paragraphs about beer. It's not like today when there's paragraphs of alcohol, what you cannot do. Then it was paragraphs that said what you had to do. Because every farm over a certain size had to have hops, because you had to brew beer in case the king would visit. So if you didn't have hops, you could actually be expelled from the country. So it's really important. So I had that chance during this. It's really cool being from northern Norway to make a subsidized beer from EU.
Very well.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So we had an email thread this summer. I must admit I'm allergic to email threads. It's hard to talk to people through that. So we decided to have Finnish hops. We have the Sunti hop, which is traditional from Finland, from Green City Farms. You saw, I actually think we saw the picture of the hops there. We have the Hullenorgar, which is Swedish, but grown your place. And then we have, and then Jarmo sent me it through the mail this summer. And you told, if I open this, it will be illegal. And maybe a few things are exciting about this, because the customs, when they get a package that's 4 kilograms with vacuumed leaves,
yes,
are green. I got a message in the Post app on my phone. You have to document what this is. I think they thought it was something else. So luckily I got it in time, and then I got the frames. we were discussing the honey. Why not use raw honey? I'm not asking the food authorities about this. There might be something there, but But if you have 1,000 liters and you cook it at 100 degrees, it will be fine. It was really cool to use all of the honey. It's really fruitful. Yeah, and when you make beer, if you add honey to it, the yeast will get more types of sugars, glucose, fructose. It will actually eat more sugars. It will be a drier beer. Drier beer is good because then you want more. So its result is a floral beer. It's crisp and it's surprisingly light because it's 6%. So I'm getting thirsty just talking about it. Yeah. So for us, it's a really cool cooperation. Sorry, I have to introduce my brewery. It's called Raus. If you're from Germany, it doesn't mean get out. It means to be generous in Norwegian. It's really important. So that's my mission and vision is to be generous. So I hope you can taste that in your beer tonight. Thank you.